morning guys, my name is Emily, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, life has been pretty crazy, but rest assured there's going to be a bunch of videos from me soon. Okay, so the elephant in a room. I got engaged. At the time of filming this, it was a couple weeks ago that I got engaged. I wanted to make a little bit of a video diary, I guess, to remember this because I feel like there's so many other things going on in my life and I really don't want to forget all this wedding planning stuff. The second big reason that I want to record what I'm doing is that I'm doing something slightly ambitious. At least I'm gonna try. So it's currently early February. I got engaged at the end of January and I kind of want to get married in June or July. Like, I'm not crazy fussy, which means I have about 4 or 5 months to organize a wedding. That's gonna be interesting. It's pretty quick and I haven't told many people what I'm planning yet, but most people's reaction so far has been like, what? And I get it. It is like a bit of a jump to go from just dating a guy to getting married like that summer, but hopefully everyone will end up on board. I definitely think I can do it, but that's mainly because I know I want a small wedding. Like, I want a homey small little wedding, so I'm not gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna be spending 20,000 on it, 10,000 on it. Really, it's gonna be as cheap as I can really get it without it just being gross, you know. We'll see. My boyfriend thought my fiance, oh my god, thought I was crazy because a couple days after we got engaged, I started writing a guest list, which, pro tip, is definitely the first thing you should work on. Sit down with your partner and figure out exactly how many people you want to come, because that ends up like deciding a lot of stuff. I think we've started currently with 70, but we don't really want to go any higher than that, even though like 70 is still a big wedding. But my parents got married after not being engaged for that long. They got married in a church. The reception was in a restaurant. Like, I feel like I can pull it off, so we'll see. But yeah, I want it to be like quite small and wholesome. Like, I want my bridesmaids to be helping, you know, make the cake and decorate the church. I just have this like quite wholesome image in my head of what I want. But anyway, I wanted to announce it and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't want to do like a sit down video, so you guys are getting this. But honestly, life update, work has just been awful. The film industry is still in a ginormous crisis. People are actually starting to like write articles about it. That's when you know you have to get out. Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a thing now that the film industry is kind of crashing. I've been working this winter, but I'm one of the only trainees who has been, so I don't know. It's gonna be very, very interesting, I think, the next few months. But you know, the actual idea of being married doesn't scare me at all. We're definitely going for more of a Christian wedding. Hopefully, if I can, we're gonna book like my childhood church that I grew up in. So it will involve transporting like all of my boyfriend's family, all of my fiance's family to another part of the country, but not too far. Like, I've got family coming from America, so should be okay. So far what's worked for me is I've come up with a giant, I bought a bunch of sticky notes and I've color coded them on different categories, like my prep, my fiance's prep, post-wedding like honeymoon stuff, and then actual wedding stuff, and I've color coordinated them and written like the to-do list that way. And then each time I finish something, I'm just gonna take the sticky note off. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna watch this back in the edit and be like, I forgot to talk about all the important stuff. The main thing is me and my fiance have just felt like we've been married for ages and we want to have a family, so it's not really on the priority list for us to actually have a big wedding. Neither of us, how do I say this in a nice way? Neither of us care that much about a wedding. I know this sounds annoying. We are genuinely both more focused on the marriage. Also, I'm not gonna lie, big weddings give me the ick. Like, I know people at work who are having these like 2 or 3 year weddings. Like, they're getting married in like 2026 and 2025. They've been engaged since 2023, and it sounded like such a nightmare that maybe this is my response, is to be like, absolutely not. 3 months, that's all you're getting. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten how to do liquid eyeliner. But like these giant weddings that just end up becoming your entire life, like planning them for years on end, that is the last thing I want. But fair enough, if you're secular, then a ginormous wedding, do it. It's like a party for yourselves, like absolutely go for it. But I have nothing against them, but watching my colleagues start planning these and they're not even happening for the next few years, and they're already having to pay like these ginormous deposits on these like big old English home locations. If you're not from England, then you might not know that these big old houses are kind of the place to get your weddings done nowadays. And of course they cost like 20k to rent, so that's why you're planning your weddings 3 years in advance. But me and my fiance have always said if we had 20k there's no way we would be spending it on a wedding. So yeah, that is the route we're going down. However, I love going to big weddings. Like, I love being a guest at big weddings, don't get me wrong, they're so fun. But for me, I just don't want that big of a day, because also, oh my god, you guys, something I haven't stopped hearing already is, you're the bride, it's your day, you do exactly what you want. Which, I get it, it's true, but no wonder you have so many bridezillas. My god, I've literally heard that from like 4 different people. Like, it's your day, do exactly what you want, it's all about you. Even like to the groom, people are being like, well, it's the bride's day. I'm like, no. Firstly, I don't want that much attention on me. Secondly, that's not a good start to a marriage, I don't think. Not that I've ever been married. But that's my little rant about the weird things that I've experienced so far. I'm just not interested in being a bridezilla. I think the only thing I'm gonna be a bridezilla about is keeping this low key. Also, I've been to a wedding recently where people would not stop being rude about the wedding after it was done, and it was an expensive wedding, and I'm just surrounded by these people being so rude about an event that is essentially put on for the guests. Like, I don't really want to have that kind of wedding where it's just like, where it's just an event that the couple are hosting for you. Like, that's also not really what I want for my wedding. My wedding is about Jesus. But I've heard people complaining about how on someone else's special day, they weren't made to feel special enough, the food wasn't good enough, the decor was tacky. Like, you hear people complain about everything, and it just sets me on edge, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me so nervous to have my own, because some people will just always find something negative to say. Also, I did go to a really small wedding recently, and I thought it was the most lovely atmosphere ever. It was very chilled out, low-key, but it just ended up being like the best night. And that's more what I want for my wedding, I think. I want it small and homey, and I want all my friends there, and I'm not too fussed about like extended family being there, because I haven't spoken to most of my extended family in ages. Not in a bad way, just in a like, I'm not that close with them. But my fiance's family is massive, so who knows how this is gonna end up. No, basically, so far I am pretty glad that I'm doing the ultra stressful thing of having a quick wedding, because the wedding industry, you guys, is crazy. I'll talk about it more in the next episode. But anyway, you guys will join me as I'm trying to avoid the wedding industry while getting married, trying to avoid a chuggy wedding, and trying to actually also have a good time at the same time, if it's possible. Yeah, weddings are weird, man. I don't know how this is gonna go, but you guys will find out in the next episode. It's gonna take me a few weeks to figure this out, but you can just click on the next episode probably. Okay, so let me take you through the vision. I've always wanted to get married in my local church. That's the only thing I ever pictured growing up about my wedding. I'm not one of those girls who's like had a clear image of it in my head, which, I mean, is maybe not the cutest thing, but at the same time it means that I'm not very picky about anything, which is in the long term pretty good when it comes to planning a wedding, because it turns out if you're on a budget you don't get that much choice in a lot of stuff. So these are the pictures that I've always had saved, at least saved since I met my boyfriend. Like I said, I never had an image in my head until I met my boyfriend about 2.5 years ago, and then suddenly I was like, ooh, I know exactly what I want my wedding to be like. So table decor, again, I'm not really sure. Flowers wise, this is normally my vibe. I think it's called gypsophilia or something, but it's also called baby's breath. I love this. I think it's so delicate, and it's also always super cheap. It's probably what I'll be going for. And then a really minimalist bouquet. Really, I don't care about a bouquet. I think those big colorful ones look a bit tacky nowadays, so I'm gonna go for a minimalist one and just hope that in 50 years I don't look back and cringe. For dresses, I'm going with my normal vibe, which is Disney princess. I love an A-line dress, although I didn't know it's called an A-line dress until pretty recently. Those dresses that like cinch you in at the waist, like corset in the waist, and then poof out at the skirt. I just love it. I think it's gorgeous. So obviously it goes without saying, a little bit of gym is going to be needed to cinch me right in. But yeah, this is the general vibe. Who knows if I'll be able to find it. I have no idea if these gowns are actually affordable, or if anything that's gown-like is going to cost $2,000. Again, I don't really know anyone who's gotten married around me, so I am going into this blind. I have no idea how much a wedding dress will cost. I've seen ones that are £300 online, and I've seen some that are $5,000 online, so stress. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. I hope it goes okay. I hope I don't have to delay the wedding. I hope I don't run out of money. All these crazy things that I'll be taking you guys along with me for, so. But anyway, that's my announcement, and that's me complaining about the wedding industry so far. Anyway, you guys, I'll see you in the next episode of this. I'm so nervous to see how this works out. But yeah, 5 January, February, March, April, May, June. 5.5 months left to go. We can do this.
Darling,